I don't know much, but if there's something that I do know, when it comes to overlanding our rigs, we love our Molle panels. Before we begin, I just wanted to extend my thoughts and my prayers to all of you who were affected by Hurricane Ian this week. That was a historic and intense storm, one of the biggest ones we've seen in a really, really long time. You know, I actually had a bigger video planned for this week's episode, but earlier in Ian's forecast, we had seen some of the models trending for the hurricane to come directly this way, like right into our city. So we spent a lot of time last week and part of this week just preparing and making sure that all of our supplies were good, that we had enough to last us for a while, and that we were ready to go in the event that we needed to evacuate. It's National Preparedness Month, and I encourage you, no matter where you live, whether you live in a hurricane-prone area or tornadoes or you get wildfires or blizzards, no matter where you are, make it a habit to always check your emergency supplies. Make sure you're stocked up. Make sure you have enough to last you until things get back to normal, whatever that might mean, wherever you are. Just double check it and don't be that person at the last minute who is unprepared. But yeah, thankfully the hurricane didn't come this way. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who were not so lucky. But now that we're in the clear, here in this area at least, I wanted to at least release a video in the short time that I have. It's Thursday now and I usually release videos on Friday, and I got this in the mail. It's a Molle panel from Hooke Road, and I wasn't even going to do a video on it. I was just going to install it in the Jeep. It's pretty easy to install, but I figured, you know what, I need to release something tomorrow, so let me just walk you through what it is that I'm doing. I bought this with my own money. Now, Hooke Road did hit me up about a couple months ago wanting to do a collaboration video. They pointed me to their website, but I really didn't see anything on there that I was interested in. And then while I was searching for Molle panels on Amazon, I saw that there was one made by Hooke Road. So I hit them back up and I said, well, if you guys have Molle panels, I'll do a review on one of those. And they said, unfortunately, because it's not on our website, it doesn't count as part of our video collaboration program. But I liked it so much that I decided to go ahead and buy it myself. It's not a lot. It's like $129 and you get a pair. You get both sides to put on your Jeep. As opposed to the 4Runner, I've been searching for Molle panels for the back of that, and it's like $200 per side. So really good deal. 129 bucks, two of them, not bad. This is what I've had, and if you own a Jeep, you know exactly what this is. This is one of those saddlebags that get mounted to the roll cage in the back of your Jeep, and it has served me well. I've had this since I've owned the Jeep. It's starting to get a little too bulky for what it is. This thing is loaded with compartments and pockets and all that good stuff, and I find that I'm not even using all of them. Like all these pockets and these straps, I'm really not using them, so it's getting a little bulky. Not to mention, this is obscuring the very, very rear windows. So every time I have to like merge over, or every time I have to like turn right, I have to ask my wife, like, can you look and see if I'm clear? Once I took this off though, I'm like, oh my God, I can finally see again. So for safety purposes, I kind of want to move on from this system. What I did like about this though is that in the front, they have this humongous pocket, so you can access things from this bag in between the rear seat and the wall, the side wall of your Jeep. So you have like access to, I put all my straps in here. It goes really, really deeply. So this has been a great system. I've liked it. It's just, I think it's time for me to move on. Not to mention that behind my seat, behind the driver's seat, I have a Molle panel there as well. And on there, I have my first aid kit. I have a bunch of other stuff. And every time I put the fridge in the vehicle, I can't lean my chair further because it's all that stuff that's on that Molle panel is preventing it. And on top of that, it's also getting squished. So if I need to get my first aid kit or whatnot, it's being sandwiched between my seat and the fridge, and I have to move the seat forward just to be able to grab stuff out. So all the stuff that's behind my seat, that's going to all go also, clear all that out, and everything is going to go onto this. Again, this is the Hooke Road Molle panel that goes in the rear, and what's good is this is easy. Let me not say easy, because we know how that goes when I say that. It should be a pretty straightforward install. Let me just leave it at that, because if you look at the bottom, you see these holes here. these actually correspond to the bolts that attaches your hardtop to your Jeep. You know those bolts that you take on and off so you can take your hardtop on and off? That's what these correspond to. So you basically just put this down, take the bolts off, put the bolts back in, and that will hold this in place at the bottom. And then at the very top, to keep things more secure, you get these brackets, and this goes to your roll cage, I believe this way. So it attaches like this, and then this goes to your roll cage, and that's what holds the top part in place. And so you don't have to drill. So if you don't like this and you want to take it off later, you can easily take it off and you haven't punched any holes into your Jeep or drilled into your Jeep, and everything can just come right off. I hope I don't have to do that. I hope this stays on for a while, but that remains to be seen. I mean, again, this was $129 for a pair, so I wasn't expecting quality to be all that. It looks good, flat, nothing is kind of bent out of place, but you can see in the powder coating there's some imperfections, like where the machine may have missed it. In some areas, like in this bracket, for example, at the corners, I'm already seeing a chip in the powder coat, so I'm gonna have to take some touch-up paint, just get on that so it doesn't rust. I mean, this is gonna be inside the vehicle, so it shouldn't rust. My biggest concern is it bending. I hope it stays as rigid as it looks. I want this to work out, because for 129 bucks, man, you can't go wrong. And if it doesn't, then again, 129 bucks, you can't go wrong. It's not too bad. Plus you get a pair. So yeah, I'm just really excited to install this. I want to see how it looks. So let's just get to it. Okay, so the first order of business was to attach the 4 rubber trim pieces provided to the top corners of each Molle panel. This will help protect your hardtop from the sharp steel corners. Next, remove the bolts holding the hardtop to the Jeep using a T40 Torx bit. Make note that each panel is side specific, so you need to determine which panel goes on the driver's side and which goes on the passenger side. Slide them in and rest them on the ledge, then loosely put the bolts back to hold it in place. For the top bracket, unzip the cover of the roll cage and you'll find a threaded hole to which the bracket will bolt into. Using the larger bolt provided and a 5mm Allen key, loosely secure the bracket to the roll cage, making sure it has enough play as you secure the other end. Now I can't show it here because of the roof rack bracket being in the way, but you'll take the smaller bolt and corresponding nut to attach the other end of the bracket to the Molle panel itself. You can tighten this. Once everything is in place, tighten all the bolts, repeat on the other side, and you're done. Who says you can't get awesome mods on Amazon for cheap? God, now I wish this was a collaboration video with Hooke Road, because the amount of people that might be buying this after watching this video, I would endorse the hell out of this. It looks so good. It looks so clean. It freed up so much space in my cargo area, and obviously I still have a ton of stuff that I still need to mount. I will not be mounting a lot though on the passenger side because I still want to keep that visibility out that window. But on the other side, I can definitely put couple more stuff on there, things that are easy to reach, maybe stuff for the kitchen, things like that. But yeah, I'm really liking this setup. Installation wise, could not be any easier. I mean, you just put it up there, put the bolts in, and you are good. The only issue I had were the bolts at the very top on the actual Molle panel itself, and the only reason I was having a problem with that is because the brackets that hold my roof rack are in the way, so I couldn't get my fingers behind there to try to hold the bolt in place. I do have a trick for those of you who have brackets like this. I would, before putting it up, just go ahead and super glue like the bolt at the back of that Molle panel, and then use some like painter's tape and hold a wrench there, and that way when you slide it in, the wrench is already in place, because that is a pain in the butt when you have a lot of stuff that's in the way. Trying to get a wrench in behind there and trying to grab the nut in the back was really tough. But once I just glued that nut on there and then I kind of taped a wrench to it, I was able to slide it in, and then from there I can reach in and then I can go ahead and tighten it. But if you don't have brackets like I do for your roof rack, then you shouldn't have a problem. It should be really, really quick. Like you should not take more than like 15 minutes to install both sides. But other than that, yeah, I am really digging this setup now. There's not really much for me to say about it except that I cannot wait to just start mounting more stuff on there. I know a lot of you have Molle panels in your cargo area. Drop it in the comments below on what you like to mount up there, things that are easy for you to reach. Give me some ideas on the type of stuff I can mount on mine as well. Other than that, if you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and also consider supporting us on Patreon so we can continue to make more content like this. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at BaptismOverland. My name is Asia Sampson, and I will see you next time. I told you this was going to be a short video.